Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I'm in this 2015 BMW X3, which belongs to my brother. Every few months he swaps and changes his cars with me. I suppose this sort of... well, not officially, but this sort of a company car, really. I don't know quite how I got into this, but yeah, every 2 or 3 months he swaps them and gets an upgrade. Yeah, when I think about it, it doesn't really make much sense, does it? But one of the many perks of having me as your brother, I suppose. Now, my brother does quite a few miles. He's often the one driving us around when we go down to car meets and car shows and out filming, all that sort of stuff. Now, that means that my fuel bill, my monthly fuel bill at my local petrol station, well, the bills are wild. And it's just slowly dawned on me that all that fuel money is, well, it's money wasted. I can't get it back. I was recently speaking to my accountant and he suggested buying an EV. Now, at first I wasn't really that interested, but then I thought, actually, hang on a minute. An EV as a pool car that my brother could use actually makes a lot of sense. I spoke to my brother about this, and having experienced a good number of EVs on the channel, mainly brand new press cars, he suggested Tesla. He thought that Tesla was the way to go. And I agree, to be honest. When you think about it, it just makes sense. Tesla have been making EVs probably the longest. They've got the best network. Their network of superchargers does seem to be the envy of everybody else. I just think they've nailed the EV market. That's their business model and it works. They were never a brand that made ICE cars and have switched to EVs like many others. They've started out as an EV brand. Also, I think they're great value. Now, they used to do the Model S, which was my favourite, but they don't do that anymore in the UK. They used to do the Model X with those funky doors, Falcon doors, whatever you call them. They don't make that anymore either. So my choices were quite limited. You either have the Model 3, which is that small hatchback saloony thing, or the Model Y, which is a bit more SUV-ish. The Model 3 starts at around 40k and the Model Y starts around 45. Now, I know that's a lot of money, I know that's dear, but in the world of brand new EVs, it isn't that dear. It's actually great value. You know, if you think about it, a top spec Fiat 500e will cost you 34 grand. So for just £6,000 more, you can get a Tesla. It is a bit of a no-brainer. And as much as we bicker and wind each other up, I couldn't really present him with a Fiat 500e. He wouldn't thank me at all. Whereas the Tesla, on the other hand, is quite cool. I think you'd appreciate that. So in today's video, we're heading down to Tesla Manchester, which is actually in Stockport. It was the old Chapel House Nissan garage. We're heading down there to test drive a Model Y. I'm quite excited about this because I've never driven a Tesla. Not any of the models. I've never ever driven a Tesla. Never. I've been in a few Tesla taxis, but I've never been behind the wheel. So I'm quite excited. I'm looking forward to it. They recently brought out a brand new Tesla Model 3 and I've seen the pictures and I'm not a huge fan. The styling's good, but there are no stalks and I just thought that'd be a bit weird, a bit difficult to get used to. So I think the Model Y is the one to go for. It's also slightly better value. It's a little bit more expensive, but you just get more car. Anyway, before we go and drive this large appliance, I just want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Carly. Right, let's get started then. Now, you'll have heard me mention Carly in previous videos, but it's a really useful tool and it's really easy to use. All you do then is locate your OBD port, which is usually located in the footwell area near the pedals, pop off the little cover, and plug in the Carly reader. Once it's plugged in, all you do is turn on your vehicle's engine, make sure your phone's Bluetooth on, and then connect it to the Carly app. Carly allows you to diagnose and repair various car issues, but it's also handy when you're looking to buy a car, because you can plug it in and make sure the mileage is genuine. Sometimes people can clock a car so the mileage looks nice and low on the odometer, but when you plug in the Carly reader, it'll tell you the true mileage. What I'm planning to do with this particular X3, because there are no issues currently, is use the Carly reader to customise various features. So let's run a diagnostic check. This might take a couple of minutes. Carly also lets you set reminders for maintenance tasks such as oil changes, brake checks, that sort of thing. So for example on this X3, I'd quite like to tackle that start-stop feature that my brother hates, as do I. So Carly allows us to customise this car's feature so we can disable the start-stop function easily. So we go into the customisation menu, find the start-stop setting, and disable it. You can also use Carly to unlock and customise certain features on your car. So for example, when you lock the car, sometimes you can turn on or off the beep, you can make the mirrors fold in, you can make the rev gauges do a sweep when you start the car, all that sort of thing. Additionally, you can customise other features. So for example, you can turn off the daytime running lights, you can adjust the volume on the park assist, and many more. So Carly is a really handy tool that works across multiple brands. You can personalise and customise a car and diagnose it. This is the sort of thing that you'd have to pay a dealer hundreds of pounds for, so it is a really useful tool. Carly is compatible with a wide range of car brands, including BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, Toyota, Ford, and many, many more. It supports cars built from 2001 onwards, and it even works with some older models with special adapters. So whether you have a car from a common brand or something more unique, Carly likely has you covered. If you'd like to try Carly for yourself, then don't forget to use my promo code HighPeak24, or alternatively, click the link below in the video description. With Carly, you can take control of your car's diagnostics and customization, making the car truly your own. So, happy driving. Right, on to Tesla. Well, I arrived at Tesla, and there are two cars to test drive, the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now, the Model Y is around £400 a month for the entry model, so they are good value. The showroom was very nice as well, but there was nobody there. It was like the Mary Celeste. Anyway, let's get this on the road. Right, well, this is my first time driving a Tesla. I've been in a few as Ubers, as a passenger, but I've never actually driven one before. Now, here in the UK, there are only two models available. You can't buy the X or the S anymore. Now, in my opinion, the S was the prettiest. You can only buy the little 3, which I'm not a huge fan of, or this Y. Now, I think the Y is based on the 3, but it's sort of jacked up, a little bit more SUV-ish. And I think this would be the one to go for. It makes a bit more sense. It's only about £4,000 more. You just seem to get more car, basically. Now, I have driven plenty of EVs, really, so this isn't my first rodeo, shall we say. But it is a bit weird with Tesla. I'm still figuring this out. I'm not entirely sure how you turn off this regenerative braking system thing, because it is quite severe. I mean, it's quite nice, really. The interior is a bit Volvo-y. It's very minimalist. The seats are particularly comfortable. They're quite nice. What takes some getting used to is that everything's controlled on this screen, so you don't get a traditional gauge cluster here. Your speedometer and everything is up here. I mean, it's all quite easy to live with, I suppose. And although I'm not a big fan of EVs, I think Tesla, well, they're the ones to choose, really. The whole supercharging network just seems to be better than the rest. I could see myself driving one of these, actually. You know, if I were to get one for myself, it would save me an awful lot of money. My finance payment on my Range Rover is quite expensive, and it uses quite a lot of fuel. Whereas with this, all you've got is a much cheaper finance payment, and a much cheaper electricity costs. I have to get a home charger installed, though. I think it's worth mentioning, actually, at this point, the model I'm in today, test driving, is the rear-wheel drive. Now, they do an all-wheel drive, which is like a dual-motor, higher performance model. This is just the standard base model, basically. I think it's 0 to 60 time with something like 6.8 seconds, so it should still be brisk enough. I think the all-wheel drive model was down to 4 seconds something, so it was much faster. I know this whole car was about getting one for my brother, but I am quite tempted to get one myself. It would just make much more sense, wouldn't it? I'm feeling a little bit guilty about running around in my 5-litre Range Rover. I just can't help but think that it's a little bit LA, isn't it? It's a little bit virtue signal-y. I mean, you see enough of them, so I wouldn't be the only one, would I? Anyway, from his point of view, this would make much more sense than the X3, because it would save me an awful lot of money in fuel and repairs and whatever else, servicing costs. There are plenty of savings to be made. I've just always thought of these cars as appliances. It isn't something that you buy with your heart. They're bought with your head, aren't they? Or in this case, my accountant's head. So, there's too much choice. So now, for example, I'm driving along thinking, right, I'd quite like my heated seat on. How do I do that? Does anyone know? This is really distracting, actually. There must be a way. Maybe I'm being thick. You see, there are hardly any buttons in this interior, so even things like the glove box, if you want to open the glove box, you've got to do it through this touchscreen. I mean, I guess you'd get used to it, wouldn't you? But I don't know if I like that, really. Where are the seat controls? How annoying is that? Well, this is annoying. Just realised I haven't looked at the road for about 6 minutes. In terms of what it's like to drive, then it's very pleasant, but then a lot of modern cars, especially EVs, are. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think I'd ever be putting my shoes on in the morning thinking, oh yeah, I've got to spend an hour today in a Tesla, I can't wait. I don't think it's one of those cars, it's just an A to B job. Let's search. Heated. No, that's not there. How annoying is this? Many of you may know, but I detest technology. So this might not be the car for me, to be honest. This is a boring video, isn't it? What else can I tell you about it? Let's do a quick performance test. You ready? Sting it. Yeah. It's not rapid, but it's pretty good. Pretty good, really. Where does it tell you what your range is then? What's my range? 90%. Ah, right. 90% or 219 miles. That's all right then. What's mad is that you're not allowed to use your phone while you're driving, obviously, and yet you can use this laptop. Ah, right. Now we're cooking, literally. We can put right seat, heated steering wheel, heated seats. Now what's troubling me is I won't be able to, right, so I think that's like a shortcut then, isn't it? I think my steering wheel's getting warmer there. Excuse me guys, this is the first time I've been in a Tezzy. Although they've been around for, I don't know, a decade now or something, they are a bit gimmicky, which is exactly what I thought they would be. I was expecting them to be gimmicky, and sure enough, this is with the whoopee cushions and all that sort of nonsense. Toy box, let's have a look. How childish. I'm not a big fan of this, really. Anyway, regardless of my opinions of it, I still think it makes business sense. There are loads of advantages tax-wise. It would make my accountant quite happy. It would make my brother quite happy. And also it'd make me quite happy because I won't be paying his big fuel bill and his repair bill and his tyre bill and his brake pad bill, etc. It does make sense. I'll be honest with you guys, I was coming down here today thinking I'm going to chuck my Range Rover in for one. That's what I was thinking. But having driven one, I don't know if I can be bothered. I think I'd rather... Although it would make sense, I don't know, is the honest answer. What a salubrious area. How long have we been driving now? 12 minutes, and I've only just figured out how to put the radio on. How bad's that? Absolute 80s, that'll do. No, not absolute 80s, we want heart 80s, that's what we want. Need a cherry? Bit of buffalo stance? What's he like? Sound system's quite good, actually. Right, well, I think that's enough for me. Let me take it back to the showroom and see what I need to do to order one. I think I need to configure it online and then order it through the website. Right, well, I've gone on to Tesla.com, and here, the Model Y from $399 per month, so order now. I'm a bit of a technophobe, to be honest, so let's see how easy this is. Rear-wheel drive, £44,990. Now we want, or he wants, black, which is a £1,300 extra. What about wheels then? They're £2,100, no thanks. I think the standard wheels are fine then. Oh, the range drops on the bigger wheels, that's interesting. Yeah, we'll just stick with the standard wheels then. They look decent. We don't need a tow hitch. Now onto the interior. Now, if I were ordering one for myself, I'd go with this white interior because it looks really cool. Makes the interior nice and light, but I think play it safe and go black. Oh, it's included anyway, that as well. Now, you could spend an awful lot here on autopilot and, you know, the self-driving capability thing, but I don't really want to spend the extra money, to be honest. £3,400 for enhanced autopilot just seems like quite a lot of money, so we'll leave that, I think. You see the option here of the full self-driving capability. I don't think some of those features are available yet in the UK. So, like, it'll do auto steer on city streets. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that's available due to, you know, various UK laws and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you'd end up paying 6,800 quid out and, well, not having great value for money. We do need a wall connector, so I'll add that to the order. Estimated delivery, June to July 2024. Well, that's available now. Review your order. Now we're doing this in a business name, and we want a bit of finance. Hire purchase. Well, I think that's it then. Not sure where I put my details in to see if I'll pass finance. I think that's it. So all that's due today is £675. Right, okay. Price adjustments, if any, are only valid for forget that bit. It's a weird world, isn't it, where you can now order a brand new car like an iPhone or something. Well, that's fairly straightforward. Even I managed it. This is weird, really, because, you know, I spend quite a bit of time on like various websites on the configurators with, you know, Porsche and Land Rover and all that sort of stuff. And I thought with Tesla there'd be loads of options to tick, but they all come fairly well spec'd. So you can't really spec them up. It's fairly basic. All you do is pick the colour, pick the wheels, and pick the model you want. So it is quite limited, really. It is like buying an iPhone. You just pick the storage size and away you go. See, even down to the colours, there aren't that many colours available. So white is standard, so that's included. Or black, it's 1,300 quid. Deep blue metallic, that's quite a nice colour actually. That's probably what I would have opted for. Deep blue metallic with the white interior, that would have looked quite cool. Don't really do red. And Quicksilver, I think, is a bit boring. I saw one of those grey sort of silver Teslas at Tesla, and I just thought it looked a bit dull, a bit flat. I don't think I'd have bothered with those wheels. And that's really it for options. How strange. I'm quite glad that I went to the showroom to test drive one, because I was seriously thinking about ordering two, one for me and one for him. But having driven one, it's not for me. I'll keep suffering with the big fuel bills for my Range Rover, I think. Right, leave this with me then. I'm going to try and apply for finance. I've got a fairly decent credit score, so it should be okay, but you never know. I'm doing this in the name of a company, not me personally, so I'm not sure. And yeah, that's about it, I suppose. But I am something of an EV skeptic, so I might do some more videos with this, like the whole process. So, you know, having it delivered, fitting the wall box, all that sort of stuff. And then probably a full review of it as well. So if you'd like to see that sort of thing, let me know below in the comments. So yeah, cheers guys. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, see you next time. See ya.